You are a soldier in a place that officially does not exist. No sign with its name, no postcard, no tourist shop. Just a patch of desert in Nevada and a line on the map that civilians never cross. They call it Area 51. You call it the base. And today is just another day of a life you can never fully explain.
Your day starts long before the sun hits the desert. You wake up in a small government-issued room miles away from the base, in a town that lives off rumors and security clearances. No photos on the wall, no personal posters, just a standard-issue bed, a locker, and a small desk that you're not allowed to clutter with anything sensitive. You put on your uniform, as ordinary as any other in the military. Same boots, same fatigues, but your badge is different. It doesn't say where you work. It just carries a code that means more than any unit name. A bus arrives before dawn. No markings, no logo, just dark windows and a driver who doesn't talk. You board with a dozen other soldiers, all as awake as you are, all pretending not to notice how quiet it always is. Nobody scrolls social media. Phones stay off. Out here, silence is part of the job description.
The ride is long and empty. Desert on both sides, sun slowly rising behind the mountains. From the outside, it looks like nothing is there. To the world, this is just wasteland. Then, slowly, the shape appears. Fences. Guard towers, a line of cameras that never stop watching. The bus slows down at the checkpoint. Armed guards. No smiles, no small talk. You present your badge, your ID, your face. Retina scan, fingerprint, code word. You've done this so many times it feels like brushing your teeth. Routine. Normal. But there is nothing normal about spending your life behind a door that the rest of the planet has only seen in conspiracy theories and blurry photos. You pass the last gate. Behind you, the outside world disappears. In front of you, hangars that never open fully, doors that only slide up halfway, and planes that no one will ever see in a museum. Your morning starts with a briefing in a windowless room. The lights are always a little too bright. The air is always a little too cold. On the wall, there's a large screen showing what looks like ordinary maps from very unordinary angles. The officer at the front has a folder in his hands. Thick paper, red stamp, big black letters, classified. He reminds you of three things. Like every day. You saw nothing yesterday. You will see nothing today. You will say nothing tomorrow. He goes over your assignments. Security perimeter checks, hangar patrols, escort duties. Escort duties mean walking next to people who know more than you. Scientists, engineers, civilians with badges worth more than your yearly pay. You don't ask what they're building. You don't ask what they're testing. You don't ask why the radar shows things that the official air traffic reports never mention. Questions are for civilians. Here, you follow orders. From the outside, your job looks boring. You walk, you stand, you watch. Long stretches of desert, metal doors, cameras that can see a grain of sand move in the wind. But every routine here sits on top of a layer of tension. You know that somewhere under your boots there are tunnels and labs you will never enter. You know there are projects with names you will never hear. Sometimes the sky rumbles with something that doesn't sound like any plane you've heard before. Sometimes you see a shape streak across the horizon and disappear faster than any jet should be able to move. You don't turn your head. You don't react. You don't point. You just note the time in your head, keep walking,
and pretend it's just another test. On your lunch break, you sit with other soldiers in a mess hall that looks like any other. Same trays, same food, same jokes. But the conversations have invisible fences. You talk about sports, about home, about family. You don't talk about the hangar with no windows. You don't talk about the lights in the sky at 3 a.m. Out here, even silence has clearance levels.
If the day is strange, the night is something else entirely. You step outside at midnight, and the desert is a black ocean. The stars above you look close enough to touch, and some of them move in ways that make your skin crawl. The air is cold and dry. Your breath leaves a faint cloud as you patrol along the fence line. Inside the base, far in the distance, one hangar glows with a pale light. It's never fully dark there. You walk your path, listening. The crunch of gravel under your boots, the hum of distant generators, the occasional low mechanical sound from deep underground. Once in a while, an alarm flashes somewhere far away. Not a siren, not chaos, just a quiet light that comes on and turns off. You get a call on your radio. All clear. Continue patrol. You do as you're told. The night in Area 51 is like a secret breathing around you. You feel small. You feel important. You feel like a guard at the edge of a story nobody is allowed to tell.
Your life as a soldier here isn't just about what you guard. It's about what you give up. You can't tell your family where you work. You say you're on a secure base out west and leave it at that. They ask what you do. You say, security. They ask, like a normal base? You say, yeah, something like that, and change the subject. You miss birthdays because of classified operations. You miss holidays because the schedule changed. You can't take photos at work. You can't post anything online. Your life is full of days that never appear in your own history. Sometimes you wonder what exactly you're protecting. Test aircraft? New technology? Something from this Earth? Or something that isn't? You hear stories from older guys who've been here long before you. They don't speak directly. They talk in half sentences and sideways glances. Back in '97, we had a thing out here you wouldn't believe. What kind of thing, you ask? They smile, shake their heads, and say, let's just say the sky looked crowded. You laugh, but the laugh doesn't quite reach your eyes.
Most days blend together. Desert, fences, checkpoints, silence. But one day, everything feels off. The bus is quieter than usual. At the gate, the checks are doubled. More officers with clipboards, more questions, more eyes. You get to the briefing room. The red stamp on the folder is darker today. The officer's face is tighter. There will be a test operation tonight, he says. Higher clearance than usual. You will maintain your posts. You will not approach Hangar 7. You will not deviate from your patrol route. You will not record, photograph, or describe anything you see or hear, ever. Nobody jokes. Nobody fidgets. You just nod. Night falls. You're on the far edge of the base when the sky lights up. Not like a plane, not like fireworks. A silent flash, white and blue, expanding and shrinking in absolute silence. The ground vibrates under your boots. A shape rises above one of the hangars. You can't define it. It's not a triangle, not a circle, not a jet. It moves like it's ignoring the rules you were taught in basic training.
Your radio crackles. Eyes forward, soldier. Maintain protocol.
The next day, the base looks the same. No one mentions the lights. No one mentions the shape in the sky. The officer begins the briefing like always. You saw nothing yesterday. You will see nothing today. You will say nothing tomorrow. You repeat the words in your head. You go back to your patrol. You walk the same routes. You eat in the same mess hall. You watch the same desert. But you know, somewhere under your boots, above your head, behind those closed hangar doors, there are things that don't fit inside the official version of reality. Your life as a soldier in Area 51 is simple on the outside. Wake up, ride the bus, pass the gates, guard the secrets. But every night, when you finally lie down in your small, plain room, one thought follows you into sleep. You are a guardian of the unknown. You are trusted to see and never speak. You are part of a story that billions will never hear. And if someone asks you, years from now, so what was it like working out there in the desert? You will shrug, half smile, and say, it was just a normal base, knowing that nothing about it was normal at all.